Jacksonville deserves answers. For years, JEA has faced controversy, from the failed privatization effort that led to federal prosecutions to new concerns surrounding leadership, workplace culture, and public accountability. Now, JEA's CEO has taken an unexpected leave of absence while a Jacksonville City Council investigative committee continues examining allegations of a toxic workplace, disputed capacity fees, and employee
JEA CEO under intense questioning as Jacksonville's Special Investigative Committee continued its probe into the utility.
Can you understand the perception that causes when you're hiring people without going through a process and giving other people a chance?
I'll just tell you that it is the prerogative of the CEO to pick their team, and it always has been, and it's been done routinely in the past as well. I'm not the first.
JEA CEO Vicky Cavey asked about allegations of a toxic workplace culture, claims of racism, and millions of dollars in disputed capacity fees.
News for Jax anchor Tarek Miner attended today's hearing. He's joining us live in studio tonight with new insight and Tarek, Cavey's response.
Yeah, you know, there were some pretty contentious moments in this meeting as well today between council members who've worked together for years. All this as JEA CEO was questioned for more than 2 hours today.
Please, Mr. Carlucci, you're not recognized. And I wish you'd quit your banging and everything. I told you when I would recognize you.
Decorum.
Council members Matt Carlucci and Rory Diamond clash over the questioning of JEA CEO Vicky Cavey during the special investigation meeting. At the center of this dispute, a question Diamond asked Cavey about the Ballard lobbying firm and whether political pressure could be contributing to the allegations of a toxic work environment. Lawyers explain that topic is off limits.
Beyond being beyond the charge question, the other issue is this particular contract is the subject of a criminal investigation by the statewide prosecutor and the state attorney. The agency does not know if it is the subject. Extremely sensitive area.
Committee members also pressed JEA CEO Vicky Cavey about how she was appointed to the role and about her leadership style, asking whether she ever converted President Trump's campaign slogan into a slogan for JEA.
Were you ever in a meeting and you said, make JEA great again? I know you've heard this before, but did you know that because you said that it was hurtful to some of the African-American staff that was in that meeting?
I don't recall a meeting saying that.
Cavey testified that she does not understand why that phrase could be considered controversial, saying earlier in her testimony that she first became aware of workplace culture allegations from a news report where Kevin Carrico made the allegation. Council members say Cavey responded, "I don't recall," to more than a dozen questions, frustrating council members like Pittman.
And for you not to know some of these questions, I just felt I just didn't even want to ask anymore because of what I heard here today.
JEA's Assistant General Counsel announced the utility has opened 2 investigations into employee complaints.
My apologies, I suppose, for interrupting earlier. My frustration just got the best of me.
And after apologizing for his outburst, Councilmember Matt Carlucci called the Jacksonville City Council's work culture toxic.
And it just feels to be not everybody on this committee, but maybe a couple, are using this as a political weapon.
So today's hearing also focused on millions of dollars in disputed capacity fees. These are the one-time charges paid to JEA based on the expected usage of a business or entity. Now, JEA says it has been able to identify it's owed about $25 million since 2003. But the big question remains as to what's going to happen to this special investigative committee. The incoming council president, Nick Howland, says he'll be making a big announcement on that on Friday regarding the committee's future. Some of the conversations among top JEA executives leading up to a high-profile lobbying contract, a contract which is a focus of a subpoena from the state attorney's office.
There are 3 ongoing investigations of JEA, and multiple subpoenas have already been issued targeting city officials' discussions of a now canceled land deal and the lobbying contract.
The News for Jax team has now obtained text messages between the city-owned utility CEO and its former chief of staff, and some of their conversations touch on that lobbying contract. Several subpoenas have been issued over the last few months as investigators dig deeper into the inner workings of JEA. The first subpoena, issued in February to City Council President Kevin Carrico, focuses on his failed attempt to appoint his boss at the Boys and Girls Club to JEA's board. A subpoena from the state attorney's office to JEA in April focuses on a lobbying contract with Ballard Partners, which employs former Jacksonville Mayor Lenny Curry. The state attorney general's office later sent its own subpoena to JEA for records related to the lobbying contract. Now News for Jax has obtained text messages between CEO Vicky Cavey and now former Chief of Staff Kurt Wilson in January of 2025 as the utility was getting into a contract with Ballard Partners. Cavey writing on January 8th, 2025, FYI, no need for you to do anything, but we've got problems having Ballard under contract. I just got a phone call from John Baker. Wilson replies, okay, want me to step out? John Baker is a JEA board member, and the text suggests that Cavey was facing pressure from multiple directions regarding the Ballard contract, an agreement JEA would later nix in early 2026. One day later, Cavey writes, Wilson again. We may not award the lobbyist contract at all. I've now gotten calls from Tallahassee. Wilson responds, from who? Cavey writes, I'm not saying, but do not execute that agreement yet. Wilson says, okay, please call when you can. Roughly 1 year later, the Ballard Partners contract was not renewed, which according to Jacksonville Mayor Donna Deegan, call when you can. Roughly 1 year later, the Ballard Partners contract was not renewed, which according to Jacksonville Mayor Donna Deegan, sparked controversy surrounding the utility.
This vile smear campaign magically appeared after she resisted pressure to renew a lobbying contract with people who are politically connected to a handful of council members, including our council president.
Mayor Deegan, seen here in February, is referring to allegations of a toxic work culture and racism made by City Council President Kevin Carrico. Carrico made those allegations public immediately after it was revealed he attempted to get his boss from the Boys and Girls Club, President Paul Martinez, appointed to the JEA board as a big favor. Martinez would have taken Arthur Adams' position. Kurt Wilson says this in an early January 2025 text when Adams was first appointed, texting, we have a new board member. Arthur says he's excited to start. You should text him, welcome. News for Jax has requested a broad swath of communication records involving City Council President Kevin Carrico after our station was quoted $4,000 to have those records produced through public records. News for Jax has partnered with at least 4 other media outlets to split the costs so we can receive the documents. We'll keep you updated on the public records.
What does this mean for Jacksonville residents? What role does City Council play? And why should every utility customer be paying attention? At DCM Investigates, we're cutting through the politics and focusing on the facts. We'll explain what's happening, why it matters, and what questions still remain unanswered. Whether you're a homeowner, business owner, taxpayer, or one of the thousands of the first responders who depend on reliable public utilities every day, this story affects our entire community. This is DCM Investigates, because transparency matters, because accountability matters, and because Jacksonville deserves the truth. Tune in every Wednesday to Community Talk on Facebook and YouTube. Look for Duval Connect magazine. Join in on the conversation and know what's going on in your community.